What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com, leading by example. You know, I was going nostalgic today. I was talking to Katie about when I used to work at Weeder Publications. I was blessed and I was fortunate enough to be found managing a few personal training areas of gyms, basically, by Senior VP Bob Washburn. He found me, and I owe him a debt of gratitude for finding me. However, he taught me one of the best lessons I will ever learn in business, and I hope that this video does the same for you, and you're able to, if in the position of power, avoid what happened to him, and that is a complete overthrow by his people, so to speak. And basically, nobody liked him. He had no respect, and he was marginalized except for the fact that he could fire people. Now, Bob didn't work very much. He didn't put in work. He didn't try. He'd play around at work. He'd drive around. He'd go golfing. He'd do his thing. Bob was your CEO mentality there. The CEOs who don't work, but he wasn't the CEO. He was I believe, the associate publisher at the time. And I owe a debt of gratitude to Bob for finding me and bringing me. He's the one who found me. He's the one who discovered me for this industry. I owe that gratitude, but his management style was not one, and that's what I'm going to talk about right now, which is leading by example. The one thing, if you talk to people within our company, they will say that Chad and myself work our asses off, that we are workhorses, that we never sleep. In fact, I've had, employees come up to me, tell me to take care of myself. Hell, Araceli's, I love Araceli. She's the greatest. But anyway, she, at trade shows, she'll literally, bring me drinks to make sure I don't pass out, because I know that I'm giving 120% to make sure that that company grows. And as a CEO or as a person in position of power, your goal should be to not let your employees outwork you. You should be setting the standard, the benchmark for how hard you should work. You should be the standard for what your company stands for pride, for execution, for results. And a lot of managers out there are known as lazy fucks, as people who don't work enough. And I've heard so many people go, yeah, I do all this. My lazy boss gets all my commission. I make all the money for the company, and they're just driving around their Lambos and they're this and they're that. And then they go ahead and they go, hey, I've been busting my ass. I'm trying to make some stuff. I'm trying to start a family. I want to stay at this company. Well, we don't have enough money for that. And the manager's sitting there fucking with golf, not even business outings, but just golfing with his fucking bros. And then going ahead and driving around in his Bentley or his fucking Lambo, rolling up, saying they don't have the funds to pay for their employees. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the most respected manager in the history of management. I'm not saying people even respect me at all. But I will say not one employee, not one person who I've worked with will look and say Lobliner did not work hard. Lobliner did not risk his health, jeopardize everything. I'm not saying you should jeopardize your health. But I'm saying that if you're in a position of power, position of leadership, you lead by example. And I'm going to take this off. I'm going to bring this back to parenting, and coaching. When I coach my kids, when I'm showing them how to do things, if I'm out on the field, unless it's a weird situation where I have to be more demonstrative, where I have to demonstrate more things, I'll tell you what, I'm out there doing up downs with my kids. I'm out there doing lunges with my kids. I'm out there doing side shuffles, karaoke. I'm out there kicking balls, soccer balls, with my kids. I'm out there doing sprints with my kids, with kids I coach, because I'll tell you what, my kids play competitive travel soccer. And I'm not going to name names, but one of the coaches at Cammy's squad last year was just fat. I mean, dude could barely move, and I think that they lose a lot of players because parents look at him and they say, how am I going to trust my kid's athletic future to someone who can't even put down the goddamn Twinkie? Okay? And then you got Cammy's coach now, this girl Becca. Oh my God, she's a Corver coach. Corver's like, that's the benchmark in foot skills for American soccer, at least. And we go to all the Corver clinics we could possibly go to. And I'll tell you what, man, I was at one of her clinics in Naperville this year, and I saw her coach, who wasn't her coach at the time because she played at Campton. Now she's at TCSA, different organization. And her coach demonstrate this skill, and her coach, she's balling, man. She was straight up balling. And I'm like, I want my daughter to play for her. Okay, this is a girl who played at a high level, played at NIU. I mean, this is someone who I'm like, okay, I want her to coach my daughter because she can actually do it. Okay, now that's another thing about management. How are you going to instruct somebody? You ever watch that show, Undercover Boss? It fucking makes me sick that these people go in and they don't even know half the shit that makes their company run. If Undercover Boss should be a daily thing. You know who does it right? Costco. The motherfucking CEO of Costco travels hundreds of days a year, does on-site spot checks and visits, and knows every part of their business. That's why for half the locations, Costco does 3 times the business as Sam's Club, because Costco is hands-on. They know what they're doing. There is not one thing in the organization that I have not done. Sure, we've upgraded our shipping where it's different than when I used to ship back in the day, but I've done everything from stocking shelves. I've done everything there is from customer service to processing orders, and that's why everybody in our company usually, except for some certain cases, starts in shipping. So you can understand and appreciate what it is that that person does. So I'm just going to leave it at this. Do as I say, not as I do. Unless you're trying to get somebody to perform optimally and you're in a position of power. If you're in a position of power, do it and they will follow suit. And it will be good, and you will grow, and they will achieve greatness. I'm Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com, because leading by example, that's not a game.